You hold all power. Do you believe that? Or have you ever thought of what power is and do you have it or do others have it and why you don't? What is it? And so you may not believe that you hold all power. I didn't believe it either when I received that message a year ago. But I understand it now, and I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll tell you why I know that you hold all power as well. And this would be a great time for you to begin to access it because it will not only change your life, but it'll help change the world, and which is why you were born. But that doesn't happen until you begin to access and utilize and own your power because you do have it. And let me read the message to you first because this will make a lot more sense and then I'll explain it all. And you see, it was on September 16th of 2023. You hold all power. We would like you to study the definition of the word power and apply all the meanings given to your life and world. Then break that definition down into thoughts. Now, please think of the quality of your thoughts and the energy they activate in your life and world. We will give you a message we provided in 2012 as we began guiding you through your restructuring or planetary ascension. As you do so, you will understand that there is no power greater than love, and you hold that awareness and knowledge, and we are reminding you. The more of you who remember now, the better your life and world will become because it is all in your hands. September 16th, 2012. The most valuable gift that you possess is that of conscious thought. This refers to the function of your physical brain and the operation of your spiritual mind. Because you have conscious thought, it provides you with choice. That free will of choice allows you to experience your life however you choose. You may be tempted to think that you are forced to believe a particular way because of what occurs in your physical world. However, your conscious thought allows you to experience anything you desire because you will interpret or perceive everything based on that conscious thought. You might think back to past events that seemed horrible to you then, but now have no effect. That is conscious thought. And that is also saying that we have the ability to come into our moment of now because that's how we experience anything. Um, that particular message I would not have understood in 2012. And I'm saying that because we must understand that we come into physical form, we live our lives, and we learn things as we move along. And we do that individually, but we also do that as a society, as a civilization, because we move through iterations of civilization, and we happen to be moving through one now. And Wilhelm calls it restructuring. And that means that we're changing everything. We're supposed to balance things out in a different way. And that can only happen if you decide to own your power. Because you came into the world with something you were meant to do that is within you. And when you do that, you produce a different kind of energy because now you're loving yourself and you're not willing to hold back from who you were before. That's what we're all meant to do. We're also meant to do that in our society, but everyone's not going to do that, which is what we're experiencing now. But then we come to understand that that's purposeful as well. Because when we can see others who are not acting in a way that we feel they should be, that means that we're supposed to do more. And you see, what I began to discover when I was given this work that I was never going to tell you, by the way, because that was me disowning my power. Because when you can't own your authentic self, you have difficulties and challenges in your life because you're judging them. And I judge mine a lot. In 1989, when I first sat down and started doing automatic writing and receiving Wilhelm, I thought, this is too different and strange, I'm not going to tell people what's happening. And so then I tried to hide it. I did hide it for more than 20 years because I said, people aren't going to understand. And then I continued to do that. I called myself the reluctant mystic because that was a little bit of me trying to tell others what I knew was happening and how I was what was happening in the world, and then to admit that I was a prophet and I had written this all down, that was really outside of the realm of possibilities. But what I've done in the last several weeks, I wanted to prove it because it's also scientific. We begin to understand that we form our lives, our bodies, and the planet and everything energetically, and that is in with our thoughts. Now, even though I was given that first message in 2012, I was given many others. I could not ingest it and integrate it into my being because of how I had been taught to believe certain things, especially about what is possible. And that was the most surprising thing. After doing this work for so long and for more than 35 years, writing, receiving this cosmic guidance, and then to discover that it turned into a philosophy that was meant to be used at this time in our world, that was really shocking and kind of difficult for me to accept. And I still tried to hide, except I was called out. That can happen too. I did, if you watch my episode of Beyond Belief with George Nuri that was on Gaia, I did that back in June. That's when it was actually filmed, but I didn't want to do it. I'm saying this because I didn't go after it. They found me because they obviously someone heard me somewhere. I hide out. We all hide from ourselves in certain ways. I was doing that. But then this morning, I also saw that we're getting ready because I'm going back in a month, and this time it's going to be even bigger. So now I'm going to bring this message and this information to a greater audience. 180 countries all over the world. And I said, that's perfect because I want people to understand what's happening. That you're alive to live this wonderful life, and you will do that when you decide to own your power. But it is a process because you have to move through all the generational beliefs and trauma that you have had. And then when you get rid of that, then you see that, oh, wow, I'm a completely different person. I didn't know why, when I received this work, that it was having me go back to my earlier life and my history, my generational history, and then I had to get rid of certain things. I had to get rid of my ideas about racism and misogyny because, see, when you move to a higher state of understanding, you begin to know that those things don't serve you because they weigh you down. They cause you to get sick. They cause you to stay angry. They cause you to do all of those things. And then when you let go of them, miraculous things start to happen. You start to heal. You start to physically, mentally, emotionally. And I can say this because that's exactly what happened to me with this work. But telling others was even more challenging because that's the other thing. You don't believe yourself. We only have this lack of belief of who we are and what we can accomplish. But that's purposeful as well, because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't know that we had accomplished anything in this lifetime. And I'm saying that because we don't live forever. What are we going to do now? And I am saying that everyone alive now is contributing to the conditions of our world and how it turns out. And if you love yourself and decide to own who you are, then things change. And that's the information that I'm giving everyone. And that is what I'm doing now. I'm holding a channeling session tomorrow, and it's about this very topic. Embrace your unique path. Because what happens is over centuries, let's just say generations, you may come to believe that because you're a particular race or gender or something that you're not as much as someone else. Where did that come from? Now, and that message is really fascinating because we run from ourselves. When I read that just last night, as a matter of fact, that's the first time I looked at it again, and it said, "Look up the meaning of the word power." I hadn't done that, and then when you do it, and you'll see there are all these different definitions, and then it said, "Now apply it to yourself, and then to the world," and then you'll see you have power. You have the ability to create anything that you want in your life. And if you decide that you're going to develop and use it to create who you are, then you are fulfilling your life purpose. And I know this because that's what I am doing now with others, because my life purpose was to bring this work to the world so that we have a much better one and you have a much greater, better life. I sat last night and I thought, and this was really shocking. but it's also why I no longer do consultations because I haven't gotten to the place where I'm charging enough money for my work for this program to be able to do consultations because I can't sit and work with someone and have them not enroll in the program because they're doubting what they can do. It's just really draining. I am saying that I know what you can do, and I know it because when I go into a different realm and I'm accessing information, it's cosmic guidance, so it works for everyone. So the only difference is that you just decide you're not going to do it. And I understand that because I wasn't going to do it either because discovering who we are can be a little frightening. But I will tell you that it's the most rewarding thing that you will ever do, and it's the only reason that you were born. And there's no one that has more power than you. There was a Wilhelm channeling session a while ago, and they said, "Now pinch yourself. We want you to touch yourself." And in that moment, now ask, why would you be any less than any other soul on the earth? And you will discover that it's only because of what you have been thinking, your conscious thought that you have used to program yourself into being little. And I know that because I've done it as well. I'm 73 and now I can understand so much more. You will do so much more than I have because that's also how evolution works. And giving this work to others, which is what I'm doing now, because now I'm finishing it all. That's what I've been saying. Now I have to. I'm going back to Gaia, so there are going to be many more people looking at it. But I'm telling you that you hold all power. I invite you to please subscribe to this channel if you have not done that yet, and share it with others. I'm going to give this information to many more, but you will see that we will move through other changes, and the way that you will make the changes happening in your life and in the world better is when you decide to love yourself, and that means moving through all the doubt, the disbelief about who you are, and loving who you have become. All right, see you guys soon.